Hey guys, so I want to talk about the latest patent that Nintendo has filed for a new controller that has basically a type of mouse wheel or a trackball or touchpad on the area of the controller where the triggers would be. In this patent, they showed a handheld device that kind of looked like a Wii U gamepad with a large screen on it, but with a few buttons and two analog sticks and two triggers. And what's most interesting about about those triggers, like I said, is that they're kind of like a mouse wheel or a trackball of sorts, but they also have the ability to be clicked when you press down on them. So basically, like two middle mouse buttons. Like you have your mouse that you use for a PC. You have the left mouse button, the right mouse button, and the middle mouse button, which can also scroll up and down, of course, when you're browsing on the internet, on a web page or what have you. So this patent shows an interesting take on the left and right trigger of the controller that Nintendo might be using in the NX. Now, a lot of other sites have commented on the innovation that this could cause in the games. Some have discounted it, possibly as not being that big of a deal, but when you think about it, this could be actually a really huge step forward for modern game design for modern video games. Not really a type of controller that would necessarily invite grandmas and babies to play it. Kind of like with what Nintendo was doing with the Wii. They had it a motion controller that anyone could use, and they made games in that light. But with this controller, it looks like, just from this little part of the controller, it looks like it's really centered toward the intricate ways of controlling the video game. We had recently Square Enix announced Dragon Quest 11 and Final Fantasy 14, which are both MMO games that would be possibly coming to the NX when it's released. Those are very item-based, intricate games. Of course, whenever you have an RPG or an MMO type game, there's tons of items, tons of item selection, tons of options in the game, menus, sub-menus, all those things that can be kind of daunting for a regular console game. On a PC, though, of course, you have all the buttons of a keyboard. You have you can make your quick menu. You can make buttons being able to access things really quickly. When you think about the possible NX controller, when you think of scrollable mouse wheel type buttons that can click on the left and right side of the controller, you bring up a whole bunch of different possibilities with a game like that. You can scroll through inventory extremely fast while still moving with the left analog stick and still looking around with the camera on the right analog stick. You can be scrolling through items as you go. It would make a really easy way to play MMO type games on a console. Not only that, besides MMO games, there's lots of things you could do with like a first-person shooter, for example. Cycle through weapons really quickly. You could even use it as a way to look or lean around corners, or say, for example, Metroid Prime. You could use it to select different types of scan visors. You could use it to look around corners. Maybe you have some kind of an item with a camera on it. You can swing it around a corner, and you could use the scroll wheels on this controller to kind of like look around that way. There's all kinds of different ways you can do it. You could use it to rotate a ball, maybe like in the middle of the screen, while you move the character around with the analog stick. There's just so many different things you could do that is forward thinking for modern video game design. That just, I'm thinking off the top of my head right here. This is just one little part of the patent, of course, of this controller. I highly doubt that's all the controller can do. And since the controller they showed had a screen on it, I imagine that's for the possibility of maybe portability, either of crossplay between the handheld NX version and the console NX version. Maybe you'll be able to transfer saves in between the controller and the console and being able to take it on the go. I don't know how that will work, of course, because this is all speculation, but the patent is real, and the patent did say that the mouse wheel, the mouse type wheel buttons on the left and right triggers of this controller could also be in the form of trackballs or touchpads, like digital touchpads on the controller. So you got a high degree of accuracy with that, and it's really hard to say which way they will go because we have no idea, but I'm sure they're in the midst of testing it right now. But either way, it sounds really interesting, and for modern game design, it looks like it could be really beneficial for third parties and other developers who are looking to create new ways of gameplay that appeal to the gamer, not to the casual gamer, but to the gamer. Nintendo already said that they're kind of done with the casual gamer market, going after that market. They did that with the Wii. Now that market has moved on to smartphones. Even Miyamoto himself said that, you know, they're looking more to cater to the gamer, quote unquote, okay, people who are interested in playing basically, quote unquote, real video games. So this controller definitely looks like, so far, it could be something like that. You can't get much more as a deep video game. You can't get more deeper than an MMO type of experience like that, what we just talked about, or, you know, a first-person adventure type game where you're really getting deep inside the control of the game itself, exploring the world. This type of controller would definitely lend itself to that, and I think it has a huge potential. If it does have a screen on it too, that just adds even more potential to it. Backwards compatibility, level design, like with Mario Maker, for example, it would probably be a much updated type of thing like that. And it sounds really cool, and I can't wait to see more. So stay tuned for more on this as soon as we hear about it. Until next time, we'll see you on the next video.